Alright guys, welcome in. Today you see all my supplies. Got a fun new project for you guys having to do with building your own Scarecrow as the holidays are fastly approaching us here. So we're going to be doing a Scarecrow step-by-step tutorial on here. These are the supplies that I would recommend. I have a couple different varieties that you can kind of switch it up, whatever fits your needs, what you guys have. So this can be done a couple different ways. I'm going to do it the way I feel comfortable doing it. You decide what works best for you guys in your class. So a couple of the different supplies that I got here that you might need for yours. I got some crayons over here. I got some different size brushes, whatever works for you. And I got two different types of paint. I got regular watercolors over here, and then I have these temper cakes that I really like and prefer using in my class. But it is totally up to you what you guys want to use. And then I got a pencil and eraser just in case I make a mistake. Also, of course, got my Sharpie to go over so we can see it, and it really stands out when we outline those. So I got my pencil ready to go. We're gonna start out lightly just in case I make a mistake, and then I'll make it a little bit darker so you guys can see. And then even after that, I'll outline it in Sharpie just so it is more vibrant and the color really pops out on there. So I'm gonna start with that U for the face, kind of going all the way from one side of the paper to the other. I don't wanna go right up to the edge, so I'm maybe gonna take a step kind of inside. So from this dot over here, maybe to about here. So I'm gonna try to go down and then back up in kind of like a stretched out U. Okay, so from that point, I want to kind of put a lid almost on my, looks almost like a bowl down here. I want to put almost a lid on the top. I want to stretch it out a little bit further because that's going to be for our hat. And then it's going to kind of arch or almost bend, have a little bit of curve on the top for the, almost the bottom of his hat actually. So I'm going to start a little bit over from this line and then go all the way over here. Alright, so now that I have that part of the hat, I would probably say the easiest way to do this part is kind of to think of the letter C. So I would do a C on this side that kind of connects to the side of the face. Oftentimes when I do stuff like this, I ask you guys to watch what I do and then you guys do it. So watch what I do and then try to copy it. So a C on this side. And then that line will kind of connect to itself. Now some people might be able to do that C all the way over, but that's kind of a tough line for some of my younger kids. So I just do a C on this side, all the way on the top. So I'll let you guys do that. All right, so I got that a little bit darker, and then on the top of it, I got room for my hat up here. So I'm gonna go a line going up, a line going up, and then kind of connect that with a straight line. And that will be my hat on the top of that. So that almost kind of connects the face into like the face shape. You can see how that line kind of goes and extends almost through. So try to match up those lines from the bottom to the top that connects onto there. So I have mine all set on there. So let's get into bottom of it. We got our shirt that we're gonna add onto there. So what I do for the shirt is I almost do like an upside down V. I'll do my upside down V going up and then down, almost like an arrow kind of pointing towards the center of the head, and then a line going out to the side and a line going out to this side, almost like we're gonna make a rectangle here. So that line kind of connects back to the face, and it looks like a rectangle kind of going off to the side a little bit like the shirt collar, and then just a simple line to the edge of the paper. Then line to the edge of the paper, so that makes the shoulders, and I always tell kids that shoulders are wider than your head. I got my buttons on my shirt, so I can do one button there in a circle and one button there. The last thing I add is under your sleeve. Kind of makes it look a little bit more realistic like a shirt. So you put a little line on this side and a little line on this side, and then it kind of looks like the shirt arms and kind of the center of the shirt onto there. Let's go on to the face now. The eyes, I got two triangles. So I'm gonna have a triangle over here and a triangle over here. Got some room in the middle. You can put a circle. So you wanna make your triangles big enough that you got room to do a nice circle in the middle. And then our triangle for our nose. If you want to make it a little bit smaller, you can make it a little smaller for the triangle on the nose. And then what I do for my cheeks and my mouth, I kind of do a circle on one cheek and a circle on the other cheek. And then almost that same curvy line that you did for like the chin would be our mouth. Curves all the way up to that next circle. So he is smiling, he is happy, of course. So thank you guys for doing that. And then we gotta add our little stripes on there. And I think I'm gonna try to do 7. Let's see if I can go. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I'll sneak one over there. Now he looks a little bit more like a scarecrow. I'm gonna put some orange and some green for the eyes. So I'm actually gonna do the green part in the middle first. So I'll do my little green in there. Green on there. And then my orange outside. This is good practice for you guys staying in the lines. Remember that you're coloring and not scribbling. I love coloring. I don't really love scribbling. I always try to go the same direction when I color. Sometimes I even outline it first and then go back on the inside. So I'll kind of outline it first, give it a little outline or a frame, and then I'll kind of fill that in. Nose, I'll try a blue for the nose. Try that same kind of outline technique. That worked pretty good. Blue is almost like a purple. It's kind of like a really dark blue on there, but I like it. Okay, and now I'm gonna do red for his rosy red cheeks. Kind of go a circle, and then a smaller circle, and keep on going into the middle. Outline it, keep on going into the middle. All right, so he's got his rosy red cheeks. I'm gonna add, let's see, for buttons, I think I'm gonna go back to green for my buttons down here. Step that I'm gonna do in crayon before we add our paint is I'm gonna give him some straw kind of coming out of his hat and his chin, since scarecrows are made of straw usually. So I'm gonna do a couple on each side, on the top up here, and then on the bottom almost by his chin. He was all set for paint. I added my straw coming out of his hat and his kind of on his chin. Looks really good. I made some a little bit longer, some a little bit shorter. So for the paint, actually before the paint, I almost forgot. I'm gonna outline him in Sharpie, so I'll do that real quick. I'll go over all of my pencil with Sharpie so it really pops out. All right, so then we are ready to paint. I'm gonna go through the colors for the painting. So I'll give you guys an option for the background. The background that I'll show you guys will have a blue, but want to have a green background like it's in the kind of a grass field. Some people might want to see the sky like it's in the back. Some people might want to do corn in the background. You guys know how it is to fill up backgrounds. For me, that's really one of the things that I focus on. As I'm talking here, I almost forgot. Make sure you go over everything in Sharpie. I almost made a little happy accident myself by not going over the Sharpie. I kind of forgot about our eye in the middle there. So I'll go over that in Sharpie, and then I will start with, like I said, my lightest color. Now there's a bunch of different brushes that I had over here. These are usually the brushes that come with watercolors. They're really, really small in there, so it's pretty hard. It's good for details, like it would be good if we were actually painting some of these in, but I'm gonna grab a little bit bigger brush, but just so show you some different options that I have for brushes. There's all sorts of different sizes. So I'm gonna go with kind of this middle one. As we do watercolor, I always kind of dip my brush into the water. I'm gonna put it in front of my paper. I probably wouldn't recommend for you guys, just so you guys can see it. But what I do when I do my water is I kind of dip it in, and then I kind of tap it on the side. And when I tap it on the side, it kind of gets rid of that water that's kind of dripping, so that you don't grab a whole bunch of water and then start dripping and getting drips onto your paper. So when you get it, kind of dip it onto the side. And also, as you're kind of putting it on the paint, with these, it gives you a little bit more area than on your watercolors, but still, you don't want to really smush it onto there like that. You don't want to smush it onto there, because not only does it ruin your bristles, it doesn't give you a nice detailed tool to use. It's gonna kind of start making the bristles kind of look like that, and that would be hard to get some detail. So you kind of want to go back and forth, kind of cover it up on just the tip, and then I always kind of swirl it just so that if you can see it almost from the side here, I'm just touching kind of the tip onto there. So just getting the color onto there and then start spreading it out onto the paper. Got my yellow done. As you can see, as I went over the crayon, it's two different tools, it's two type of different medias, so they kind of reflect themselves so it doesn't smear on the crayon, because the crayon's such a stronger substance and tool that when you put it on there, you can just go right over it with paint. You might actually notice that if you did your Sharpie over some of the crayon, it kind of slipped on some of the crayon because it's such a slippery surface that the paint kind of just goes right over that. So you don't have to worry about messing up some of your crayon that you put on here. If you accidentally kind of go over some of those, it won't stick to that, so you don't have to worry about that. So I'm gonna go on to the next color, which would be my red for my shirt. So I'm gonna clean out my brush. When we're cleaning out our brush, just kind of smush it into the water and then again tap it out. So there he is, or she, I guess it could be a boy or a girl. My Scarecrow turned out awesome. I was really happy with how it turned out. As you can see, as I was painting, one of the steps that I always do, that I try to do with crayon also, is kind of outline before I paint, outline it, and then kind of fill in each section by section. Always adding details. I added a little patch onto his hat up there that you can add always in the background. I didn't just do one color in the background. I kind of did it almost like grass, so I kind of colored this way, or painted with color going this way like grass, and then for my sky I kind of did going this way. So it's always good to kind of switch up your different directions, and always use all the paint in your paintbrush too. You can see sometimes how it got a little bit darker on certain parts, but then I kept on going, almost kind of using the side of the brush too. Some of the parts that I needed detail, I kind of used the pointer of it, and then side for kind of filling in some of those larger areas. So thank you guys for viewing this. This was a really fun project. I hope you guys liked it. As more projects and fun awesomeness, you can always check out my channel. It is Mr. Schuette's Art Class. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button down below. That's a little red button that gets you to all of my latest videos and all awesomeness that is art in our little art class that we got going on. Give it a thumbs up if you like this video. Hit the thumbs up down, comment below on maybe your favorite part of this project, maybe your favorite part of this project that we did, whether it was a painting, whether it was a crayon, whether it was using Sharpies, or seeing how the crayon kind of goes through the paint on that. Hit a comment down below. And as always, I am Mr. Schuette. This is Mr. Schuette's Art Channel, and we will see you guys later.